Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry, good afternoon, all. It's been a long day already. I'm Dr. Dobbs, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to go over a little orientation of the course. Of course, if you're watching this, you've gotten to the announcements page, and then gotten to start here. But again, you can see there on the announcement where to start. So where you found this, of course, was under Start Here, and under here you can see the syllabus. I've already have the syllabus pulled up, so I'll go ahead and pull it up here. So we'll go back through the syllabus and some of the course requirements. So again, I am Dr. Dobbs. My office hours are there if you happen to be local. I'm here more than that, unfortunately. There's contact information, but again, the best way to communicate with me is through Blackboard message. That way I'll know exactly what course you're in and that kind of thing, so it's a lot easier. I'm the division chair also, and of course, Dean Worthington is the Dean of Instruction. Excuse me. This course we start with kind of early history, European exploration, colonial period, and go all the way up through the Civil War. So you want to, and it is delivered of course via internet. To use, and we'll see here in a second. I have lectures. I have lectures posted that go with terms and PowerPoints. There's practice quizzes, there's participation, different things that you'll do. This is actually essentially exactly the same as my in-class class. You just have to, you won't be sitting there with me taking notes and using my PowerPoint terms. You'll be listening to the recorded lectures. The book is Understanding the American Promise. It's a brief history, second edition, volume 1. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but you can either get a book new at the bookstore or used there, or you can order them online or something like that. And we'll talk about the differences of that in a second. Let me pause for a second. Okay, sorry about the pause there. My son came in the office, needed something. So yes, the book, Understanding the American Promise, brief history. Again, you can get it either used or new, but I'll talk about some advantages or disadvantages of that a little bit later. Also, you need to note that all of our exams will be online, of course, since it's an online class. I actually do my lecture classes online as well, exams. But you'll need to use Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor. I've got some information posted. You'll be able to see that. Some videos to show you how and that kind of stuff. You'll also need access to a webcam to be able to use Monitor. So you'll need that. And then also the access code, and this is what we get to in a second with the book. We're going to use something called Learning Curve for participation quizzes. If you buy a book at the bookstore new, it'll have the code in it. If you buy a used book from the bookstore, it might also have the code in it. There could be a code if it hasn't been used before. You can use it. Or if you go online somewhere and buy some book from somewhere else for real cheap, then if you can just buy the access code for $9. But we'll talk about that in a second. So that kind of gives you some advantages or disadvantages to how you buy the book. The course outline is basically the PowerPoints and terms, and you can follow through on the lectures. And when I get close to the end of the list of terms, we're going to soon have an exam. But everything is based on that list of terms. Let me go back to if you go under here, required stuff, okay, under exam 1, I have lectures posted. Okay, I have these are the lectures. These are from probably a year and a half ago. It's just another. It's a lecture course I had. So, realize that I'm talking to another class. I'm not talking to you guys. So in case there's an inside joke or I'm cussing somebody out or something because they tick me off or whatever, just know that, it's not aimed at you. Okay. And you'll also notice a couple of them I have notes in. I'll go ahead and mention here. If you happen to notice in some of these lectures, if there's a blank spot, it means I might have been showing a video. I know for this first section I used John Adams' the HBO miniseries, a good bit of it. I recommend if you have a chance, to watch that whole thing. But I use little snippets of that here and there. Later on I'll use some of the History Channel Presidents videos. So if there's little blank spots where you can't see anything or it's kind of like that, that's probably where I'm showing a video. Okay, just so you'll kind of know that. So again, there's the lectures, and then it's based on the list of terms and the PowerPoints. So again, probably 40 or 45 of the 50 questions you'll have on the exam will come straight from my lectures and terms. I mean, So it's very important you set aside time. Remember, this is a mini 2 course, so where you have 15 or 16 weeks in a full term. For this term, for a mini, you're looking at 7 or 8 weeks. So at least a couple of chapters, the equivalent of a couple of chapters each week. And especially this first one, there's 5 chapters on the first one. I don't spend a lot of time in chapter 1, but you need to really schedule time. If this was an in-class class, like mini 2 class, it would be, if say we met 2 days a week, it'd be 3 hours 2 days a week. So you're looking at 6 hours a week basically. So it's a lot of material. Don't put it off. Make sure you're pacing yourself. Okay. So the terms, lectures, terms, PowerPoints, and also Essay 1. I have the deadline for it right now is November 8th. Sometime between now and November 8th is the date I'm going to set right now. We may have the exam before that. I'll just see, but we probably will. But I may give you some extra time since it's a short course. But you'll need to go in at some point and do the essay. And the way it works, I'll go ahead and open it. You open it here, and here's the essay question. And it's just some gibberish I wrote a minute ago when I was looking at it. But the question everyone has is, what role did sugar play in the development of African slavery in the New World? Okay. Now the answer is not a big one or a big role. Okay. Might be true, but that's not a full answer. You need to answer the question fully. Okay. So all these questions, you're looking at least a good paragraph. Now don't spend weeks crafting a perfect 10-point essay. Okay. Most importantly, study for the exams and do the participation quizzes. But you need to take some time and use the book, answer the question fully, use some sentences and grammar and all that kind of good stuff. I'm looking if, did you do your own work? Again, it might be 30, 40 minutes worth of work. Okay, but make sure you do this. I have people every semester that just won't do it, and you give up. This is 10 points for 3 different essays. The first 3 exams will have essays attached. That's 30 points I'm really just trying to give you. Okay, so make sure you take advantage of that. Now, when you're working on it, you can work on it here, and this is when I did the little gibberish thing, blah 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 blah. Okay, now I can hit save all answers, and that just saves that. And so then if I wanted to go back and do something else, yes, I want to leave the page. Okay, I've done something else. I'm ready to go back and work on my essay again for a few minutes. I can pull it up, and there it is. Okay. Now, so you can do that, or you can work on it off, with, a Word doc or something, and then just copy and paste it, whatever you want to do. But only once can you hit save and submit. So only hit submit one time. If you hit submit, I grade it. Okay, so just pay attention to that. All right, go back to exam 1 stuff. Yes, leave this page. Okay, so again, there was the looking at this syllabus here again. We've got, so again, there's 4 exams. Right now, the tentative date for the first exam is Thursday the 29th to Sunday the 2nd. And these are the tentative dates for the rest of them. So you can see the kind of breakdown is pretty quick. Okay. Now, generally what I do is I give you a couple of days during the week and then over the weekend. So if you need to come on campus and take an exam, our libraries have webcams. You can do that on one of the weekdays, or if you're going to take it at home, then this gives you a chance to kind of schedule, at some point, an hour, hour and a half for you to take the exam, okay, during that period of time. But communicate with me if there's some emergency and some kind of emergency situation. Communicate with me before the exam, okay? Because again, exams are the only thing that can be made up here, okay? All right, now another big chunk of points, 130 points, is the participation quizzes. Okay, and I'll go back up here under participation. You'll pull this up and you'll click on this, and this takes you to the screen here. This is where I mentioned, again, this is where you enter the access code. So if you buy a new book from the bookstore, excuse me, it'll have an access code, put it in there. If you buy a used book, it might have an access code, you put it in there. If you got a book from half.com or something and doesn't have a code, you can click here and say, yes, I want to purchase it. You put your email address and you can pursue that. Now, the good news is, then, if you don't have the code yet or you don't want to purchase it right away, you can do I need to pay later, and they'll send you a temporary access code. It's good for 21 days. And I have to make sure that I'm pretty sure it's good from like this is the beginning of the term. I know anyway. So it's good for a while. You can't use it for the whole term, but you could get started. Okay. And I have a video here posted. Now the dates will be a little bit different, and it's a month or two ago that I did this, but it'll tell you about how it works and what learning curve is. Okay, so I'll basically, there's 15 chapters. I'm going to count 13 of them. So if you just complete it, and you'll see it's an interactive quiz. It's not about points per question. It's how long it takes you to earn the points that are needed to complete it. And I'm going to go back in. I think I'm just going to set the points at like 500 points a question. I think each correct question is like 13 or 14 or 15 points. So again, use your book. You'll see in the video it has the actual page number up at the top. Just sit there with your book and read it and go through and answer the questions. And depending on how well you're doing, it'll go through more quickly or slow down and give you easier questions or whatever. It's an interactive quiz. So make sure you do this. Okay. Right now I have the deadline November 8th. I'll probably leave it that way for this first exam just to give you a little extra time. Okay. So that's 130 points. That's more, that's an exam grade and a half, and it's just kind of giving you that. Please do that. Now another thing that would help you for the exams, under study and practice quizzes, you keep clicking and it goes. All the chapters have again, none of this counts for anything. Okay, so nothing under study practice quizzes count for anything, but you can use it to prepare for the exams. I understand from others, from students, the outline and defining terms can be helpful, but also the identification quizzes and the self-test. These are great practice tools and study tools for the exams. Okay, so I strongly recommend those. Okay, let me go back to the. Okay, and you also can earn extra points. It's a bonus book. You can do a book review. The deadline to get a book approved will be, I think I have it down there, be basically the time of the second exam. So right now I put down there about November 16th. That could change a little bit if I change the date. But basically after the second exam, there might be, this is mini too, I'll probably have at least one other extra point opportunity if you happen to be local. We have in November a International Education Week. I sometimes bribe students to attend things. That's bribe, extra points. But you can earn up to 15 extra points. And so it's real simple. 15. I'm sorry, go with the book review. So it's real simple. I'm no math whiz or anything. So all I do at the end of the term is I add up all the points you've earned through exams, essays, participation, extra points, and I divide by the total points possible, which is 560. So 90 to 100% A, 80 to 89% B, and so forth and so on. So I encourage you to get on it, get started right away. I do tend to scale the first exam just to go ahead and give you a heads up in case in a couple weeks you take it and maybe you're not sure about it or whatever. But because if you don't know exactly how to study and that kind of thing. Well, let me show you too. As far as the exams go back up over here. When it is time to take an exam. Okay, let me just say right now I have up here a little video on how to download Lockdown Browser. Okay, you can watch that. A little video on monitoring webcam, which I had Lockdown Browser on, so I just had to use my iPad, so it's kind of goofy, but it's there. And then at some point soon, the next week or so, download Lockdown Browser, go through the instructions, and then take this little practice exam. It doesn't count for anything, but I want to make sure that before you take the exam, you make sure you have all the technology working. Okay, I don't want you to, if the deadline is, November 2nd, Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., don't let the first time you actually try to use Monitor and Lockdown Browser be 11 p.m. the 2nd. Okay, if you wait till the last minute, I might not have as much sympathy for you. Okay. And just remember, if you don't know, instructors are not required to let you make up exams. Now, if you have a real issue, real emergencies, by all means we'll work with you. But if you just put things off or blow things off, we don't have to let you make up exams. So just to be wary of that, okay? And there's little test taking tips. These are kind of older, I guess it'll still be helpful. But the biggest thing is, again, you can watch the video in the Lockdown browser and the monitor, and take this sometime, hopefully the next week or so before the exam, okay? So let me scroll through here. Of course, this is messages. The way you send a message is just create a message, click to, find me. Wait a minute, this is, where's me? Oh, there I am. Sorry, didn't see myself, okay? Recipient, you put in here, book, or whatever your question might be, and just ask the question, okay? All right, I'll cancel that. Let's see what else we got here. So I think that's pretty much it. The other things here, I don't know why you're seeing that. You shouldn't be. I didn't know that was, I guess it's even under student view it's there. But so again, get started with the lectures and the PowerPoints, taking notes and everything. Get the book as soon as you can. Get working on the participation quizzes. And again, if you have any questions, best way to communicate with me is Blackboard message. And make sure you're checking announcements regularly. I'll post announcements here, and that's the first thing that comes up is your announcement page. So I'll remind you of things here. There's the attendance verification. Do that. Getting ready for the exams, all those kind of things. All right. I hope we have a great, quick meeting too. Jump in and don't get behind. Take care and have a great day.